I'm here with Nicky Whelan, star of The Flood, and many others. This was quite a fun. I talked to Casper Van Dien the other day and kind of likened it to Assault on Precinct 13 with an alligator. But we were talking about a lot of the movie, especially in the second half. You guys are like waist deep in water the whole time. What was that like? Because he said he had fun with everyone on set, but that particular part was particularly disgusting for him.
It is disgusting. It's very uncomfortable. We're in this enormous paddock, kind of slushy, muddy paddock, a huge factory in the middle of Bangkok, stinking hot night shoots with these water trucks coming in and filling up these factories with sludgy water. I mean, and everyone's in it, so it's filthy. You can't see anything. It helps set the vibe, to be honest with you, of what's taking place in the movie, and it helped us kind of get into the craziness of it all. But we've got shoes and socks on, and it's so uncomfortable, and we're kind of standing in that stuff for hours and hours, and it was a challenge for all of us. It was very uncomfortable, but you sort of felt very accomplished every morning going home, back to the hotel.
Yeah. Does stuff like that, like challenges like that, or stuff where you know, uh, real life stuff on set, does that kind of help get into character or get into the moment? As uncomfortable as it is, it's gotta help kind of push it forward, I think.
I think it does. I really think it does. We've got to use our imagination a lot and make believe. All of it's that sense, but having the right elements around you and things that are tangible and things you can touch or involve yourself with are so helpful for me. It's like I hate auditioning, because auditioning for me is such a, on tape and stuff. It's such a, especially when you've got bombs going off or you're trying to do this in this space that we're on now. There's nothing realistic about it. And I don't care who you are. I'm a very physical person, so I like to be in it. So in particular with The Flood, just being in the water and having incredible actors and crew around us, but being very uncomfortable and exhausted helps. It's uncomfortable, but it helps.
Yeah. Well, also, I guess speaking about audition, like, what's your what would be not so much dream role, but dream experience? Like, as far as you mentioned you don't like auditioning, but like, you've done a wide range of movies, wide range of budgets. Like, how much what's the word? Like audition time with the other actors. Like, what would be the ideal movie that you work on as far as trying to get the best performance out of you?
I do a lot of these fun flicks, and sometimes I do deep pieces, and I've done a lot of comedy. But I think, as I get older into different phases of my life, I want to continue doing action because I love the physicality of it, and I'm fit and I feel good and I want to move that. I want to show that. But it's also, as you get older, you develop different things in your life and you understand things better. So for me, it's like I'd like to find some different scripts that tap into different parts of growth and who you are, who we are as humans, and maybe some deeper pieces if they become available to me. It's very challenging, the business, and I'm at a strange age, and I'm also, I've been a certain character in so many different things. It's just finding the right script and the right people to believe in you and an opportunity. But I'm always, as you know, if you know my career, it's all over the place. I'm always doing from comedy to this and that because I love it all, and I believe that I can give it all a shot. So I have no idea what's coming next. I do have an idea of what's coming toward the end of the year, but like I'm always open to trying new stuff because it helps my self growth. Your personal growth, throwing yourself into these roles. And even The Flood, it's a fun action flick. It's scary, it's action packed, but it challenges you in different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things you got coming up looks like Seclusion, which is, so you've produced two, Christmas Arrangement and Seclusion coming up. What was your thoughts, or what's getting you in producing, and is that an aspiration you have moving forward?
It sort of just happens organically when you help put together people together and bring everybody together and kind of just connecting. You know what I mean? It's sort of, you feel like you're producing a lot of the time. A lot of the behind the scenes here, I probably should have been the producer on many projects I've worked on. I just, because of the way I know people and how we bring these projects together and how we collaborate. But producing is not as easy as it looks. And the real producers that are doing real the real work out there. It's tough. They're on the phone 24 hours a day. They're rallying people, waiting for people. It's a very stressful job. It's a very different position to be in. And I much prefer to be an actress than a producer. But it is nice to bring everything together and be a part of that process also.
All right. And so I've always brought this up many times, and I don't know if it's apocryphal or not, but it was something I heard about Terrence Malick. And you actually worked with Terrence Malick, so maybe you can speak to this or not. But I've heard that he'll take a scene and do a scene with the dialogue and do the same scene without dialogue to see which one works best. Is that a thing that you experience or not?
My experience with him, by the way, probably one of the greatest people I've ever worked with and the kindest, most evolved human. Him and his wife, the most wonderful people. His movie sets are like going into a huge, amazing situation and you just get thrown into it and his cameras are just everywhere, just following the life, the realness of everything that's taking place. He paints a picture. And the stuff I did with Terrence was up at an enormous place in Beverly Hills. It was a party scene and Christian Bale and Antonio Banderas were there and some of my scenes were with them and I had no dialogue. I was thrown into the scenes and told what to say once I stepped in. It's a very bizarre process. There's another scene I got to shoot with an incredible actor, Jason, I can't remember his last name. He's an amazing actor. And he just gave me a piece of paper with a bunch of lines and it goes, Q on this, we'll shoot it in 5 minutes. I mean, the most bizarre process. None of us knew what the movie was about, what was going on. We were just told how to dress. It's such an artistic, special way to shoot stuff. He's magical. I remember there was a scene where everyone's dancing and he got in the scene and started dancing with us and started moving with everybody. And with Antonio and Christian Bale, they're coming through this window scene and walking along and he just would walk with me and he'd just push me into the scene and go and say this and try and be just to see, because I think he likes to catch a lot of the realness. I mean, I don't want to speak for him. I don't know exactly, but that's how it feels, and he tells actors to do different things. So he looks for these reactions, these very organic reactions. And I guess whatever makes sense, he puts in. I don't know. It's just a lot of my stuff never even saw the light of day, but it was just the experience and getting to work with him. It was, wow, I could do that again.
Is there any beyond that? Is there any other scenes or takes you did where it's like, oh, that was so good, and they didn't use it? Oh, I wish someone could see it. Or
so many. I mean, there's a scene where Antonio's character starts screaming at me, and I had no idea that he was going to do this to me. And I actually, unprofessionally, was like, "Hold up, is this real?" So thrown off. I was like, is this meant to happen? He was yelling at me and I couldn't get him to stop. But, the magic was in me really being horrified that he's yelling at me. And it was just sort of, I'm sure there are so many things that happen in his movies that never see the light of day, but he has a vision and he brings it together and he's very artistic. I mean, these guys are all so creative, you know what I mean? And Brandon in this movie, if you look at the way he shoots the flood and the action sequences and the other stuff Brandon's shot, he has this way of understanding action and how it makes it look rad on no budget. You know what I mean? It's very clever.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised when, especially indie filmmakers, just can kind of, like you said, just be real clever with the filmmaking and just kind of get something out that would normally take a couple million for a big budget studio to do.
And hours and hours and days to put it together. We're putting these fight sequences together in 20 minutes. I'm not even kidding you. Like, unbelievable.
Yeah. And if Wikipedia is to be believed, you train in boxing and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I'm guessing that helps with the fight scenes.
I did a little bit of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I'm not really a jiu-jitsu girl. It hurts my body and I haven't done enough of it. But I know people that train it. But I do boxing and kickboxing. I've done that my whole life, since I was in my early 20s. It's just been one of those sports that it's good physically. I like the way it shapes your body. I also have a dancing background as well, which I love dancing. So they're my two sort of go-to exercises.
Yeah, you had a particularly good fight scene in The Flood that I quite enjoyed and you sold quite well.
I got hurt in that a couple of times, not by the boys, by myself, but just sort of I'd gone to swing a punch at one stage and the DP was right behind me and my hand just went straight into the camera and exploded. But the pain was good. Kept me going. Yeah.
I guess I'll end with so my co-host Bruce has a what's in the box segment. We have people put movies in the box that you think are underseen that more people should see. But I would also like a personal one of a movie that you like, but also a movie that you worked on that maybe didn't get enough eyes on it that you really had fun with, or you're like, that movie is really good. I wish more people would have seen it.
I did a great indie movie called Last Night in Rosie, which was shot a couple years ago in Boston. It's a really great piece. It's a really great movie, ultra low budget, with really great actors, and it's just a beautiful piece. And I did get some love, and I think it won an award or something at one of the smaller festivals. But it's a movie that something very different for me. I even look different in this movie. It's like a whole off the sort of anyway. If you see it bopping around, it's out there. Last Night in Rosie it's a great movie with a great bunch of actors in it. So yeah.
And then what's a personal movie that you like that you not necessarily one you were in, but just one that you like that you think more people should see?
I don't know. I mean, I wish I'd had a preparation. There's so many movies you watch, the great movies. I think everything that I watch has some sort of cult following. I mean, one of my favorite movies is Lost Boys, which a lot of people have seen. But again, one of the greatest movies of all time. But like, we'll speak to the younger generation. They're like, huh? And I'm like, go see The Lost Boys. It's so cool. Like, I'm a bit of a nerd in that way. So those kinds of movies for me, I just love them.
Well, Bruce puts them in the box and I watch them as well. So I have no problem rewatching Lost Boys. If we got to do it 10, 20, 30 times, I'm fine with it.
Awesome.
But Nicky, thanks for joining me today. And The Flood will be available in theaters, on demand, and digital July 14th, 2023. And it's a very fun film, and congratulations on it.
Thank you so much, love. Nice to see you.
All right. Thank you.